Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Will Talks. In this edition, we're going to be remembering our late great hero, Kobe Bryant. This is your host, Sonny Casebauer, with.
Marty O'Connor, your boy.
We're going to come a little heartfelt today. We don't want it to be too sad, but we're going to come straight from the heart and be genuine about it. Just to be quick, we're huge Kobe fans. And this has hit us hard, and we would feel wrong not doing at least one episode about it and kind of getting our feelings out there and kind of helping some people who are grieving now as well with us. And even if you're grieving over something else, maybe this episode will help you as well.
Absolutely. And to kick things off, I would just want to say our hearts go out to the other families and individuals who are involved in the helicopter accident. Can't imagine what your families are going through, but we're sending our prayers your way. And just a tough time in Southern California right now. And I mean, the world, I think that's the kind of reach that Kobe had. I don't know, man, where were you when you got the news?
I was at home, and my dad had opened up his tablet. He was scrolling, and he saw TMZ. And he's like, "Hey, Kobe Bryant died in an airplane," and I told him, "Shut up." I was like, "Don't be spreading that crap," because I thought it was spam.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke. And I got real angry because I just, I'm kind of superstitious. If you say it out loud, it comes true,
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Stitious, that's it. So it kind of like blindsided me. And then we started flicking through the channels to see if it would come up on ESPN or the news, and finally it hit. Mm-hmm. And my heart just sank, because in the beginning there's a lot of conflicting reports. I thought maybe his whole family was on board the airplane or the helicopter. But when it finally came through and you saw it, it was like a state of denial for me. What about you though? Where were you at?
Yeah, man, I was riding a high at Sundance in Park City, and we were having an impact brunch, and I was talking to people, schmoozing, and then next thing I know, here's someone right behind me is like, "Hey man, Kobe Bryant died." And I literally was in the middle of a conversation with someone. I didn't want to be rude, but I just had to like stop them and just be like, "Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
What did you just say?" And like, I feel like I couldn't process anything for the next like 10 or 15 minutes, and I was just kind of in a blank stare.
Yeah.
And then you start getting the text messages from friends. You start looking into it, and like, man, I just went from such a high to just crying in a room full of 40 or 50 people.
Yeah.
And it was like embarrassing, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously wished I could have been alone or like taken myself out of that, situation. But dude, it broke me, because I know you and I both feel the same about this guy, how he was like everything to us in terms of like what we aspired to be like.
Right.
I mean, for me, he was just the epitome of work ethic.
Yeah.
And, how I tried to like apply myself into, not just sports back in the day, but now into work and to, all of my endeavors. It's meant so much to me. And it's just, you feel like you lost a family member or like a loved one, even though it was someone that I never met.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, caring so deeply about someone you never met.
It was weird to me at first. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was in a state of denial. Like, this isn't real. This isn't really happening. And I was sad, and I didn't want to feel better. It's weird. Like, usually when you're in those kind of like states of depression or like sadness, you want a fix. You want somebody to tell you it's going to be okay. But I literally was just so like heartbroken. It felt like in a weird way, like a girlfriend dumped me or like a long relationship was ending. Mm-hmm. And there's like, that partner relationship when you're ending it, it's never going to be the same. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, it's never going to be the same. I'm never going to watch a Laker game and feel the same way. And for me, to kind of explain what the Lakers means to me is what basketball means to me in whole was basketball was always my kind of way to get away from all my problems. Mm-hmm. And Kobe was that guy that I felt like as long as he was breathing, he was going to play.
Yeah.
And even though he had retired for a couple of years, I still felt like he was such a big part of the Lakers. But I also felt, because he tore his Achilles right when we broke our neck.
Right.
And he made me feel like it was okay not to be like, at first he was a basketball player, now he was doing other things. Yeah. And I felt like when we both got hurt, like we had to say goodbye to our old selves. and now our new selves were coming in. And he was making me feel okay with that transition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, goodbye old Sonny, here comes new Sonny, just like here comes new Kobe, and we can be better than we were before.
Yeah.
We can win Oscars, we can do this, we can do that. And so when he died, I felt like a piece of hope also died. Did you feel that way too?
Absolutely, man. And I mean, the one thing that resonated with me, you know, coming off the Achilles story, is just how to deal with pain.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like just seeing a guy tear his Achilles, most people get carried off in a chair.
Like Paul Pierce?
Unless, you know, because he shit his pants. But,
Yeah.
Dude walked back out and sunk free throws, you know? And it's like, he always played through it, you know? And I've tried to play through it my whole life, you know? And we're playing through it right now.
Exactly.
You know? And, you know, it just having that disconnect of not knowing him personally, but I think it doesn't matter when that person has had a profound impact on your life. I mean, I was born in '87, kind of the height of Lakers-Celtics rivalry, you know, and it was just instilled in me that, you know, the Lakers were my team, and like my dad was just such a passionate fan.
Mine too.
Magic was his guy.
Yeah.
And here's a little crazy coincidence. My dad was on a business trip in Salt Lake City when Magic came out and announced that he had to retire from basketball because of HIV. And here I was out in Salt Lake, and here I get the news that Kobe died, you know, and it just is a terrible, terrible coincidence that just both of our, you know, our icons of the sport were just taken from, I mean, Magic, you know, was just leaving the game. Yeah. That's one thing, but Kobe, I mean, this is, he was taken from Laker Nation in the world, you know.
It's funny you bring your dad up because I've only seen my dad cry maybe once or twice. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Magic said he had AIDS, it was the first time I ever seen my dad cry.
Wow.
Came home from work, and he's like a big radio guy. He always listens to the radio. I don't know who the radio guys were back in the day, but I remember him sitting in his truck and me being a 5-6-year-old kid running out to the car and him in full tears, you know.
Yeah,
and I'm like, because back then you thought Magic was going to die. Mm-hmm. So similar, like Kobe actually died. I mean, you thought the AIDS was a death sentence. But it's just so hard to fathom, you know. And I remember we talked right away, and I told you, you know, I'm struggling with just faith. Yeah. I see such bad things happen to good people, you know. And I brought up you. I was like, you know, getting to know you over the last 7 years, I see how many people support you. I see how close you are to your family, and I'm like, if you were ever a piece of shit, you wouldn't have that kind of support. Mm-hmm. And I see the daily struggles you go through. And then I saw what Kobe was transpiring to be. And even though I wasn't like friends with him or anything like that, I saw the father he was, taking his daughter to the games and showing her the game and teaching the game and coaching her team. That's how he died. So it hit me like, damn, like, why does all this like bad stuff happen to good people? Mm-hmm. And it really has affected me emotionally in the last 2 weeks because I can't rationalize it and I can't put my finger on it. And it's made me really withdraw and maybe be an irritable dick. I'm sorry for people who I've been mean to lately, but I'm having trouble with it, you know, figuring it out, why I feel this way.
Yeah. And grieving is a really tough thing too. You know, it's like there's stages to it. You know, we've talked about that in previous episodes. And I mean, for me, grieving this loss, I feel like almost in a way of denial, it was like I wanted to hold on to him so much more that like I just dove headfirst into, you know, the tribute videos, like the highlight reels, like all the things. It's like
just documentary.
I couldn't let go of him. I just wanted more of it, you know, because it was just, you know, I didn't want to have that separation of, you know. Did
you have friends reaching out to you saying this was similar to when they first heard the news about you?
I mean, dude, everyone knew how much Kobe meant to my life. Like that wasn't like something I kept to myself. Like that's something I've brought up over the last 20 years of my life. Yeah. You know, and so I had people just reaching out, seeing if I was okay, and, you know, just feeling
is crazy, right?
You know, it was just people that, like, you know, I don't talk to on a daily basis, but were you getting some of the same calls?
Oh, so ironically, this is funny, and we can kind of tie this in a little bit. I had a girlfriend reach out to me who I haven't spoken to for like 5 years, but But the reason why she reached out to me is because it was her birthday one year, and her birthday was on a Thursday, so we celebrated. We had a good time, whatever. And the Sunday, she wanted to go wine tasting, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't go." She's like, "Why?" I'm all, "Well, you know, the Lakers are playing on Sunday. It was an important playoff game. I think it was the Spurs that were playing in the playoffs." But that's how diehard a fan I was.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You don't go, we're gonna break up." And I'm like, "Well, you do what you gotta do."
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching the game with my boys. You know.
I mean, yeah.
And so the party starts, whatever, and like she's like rage texting me and all this other stuff, right? And like I didn't say anything because I was thinking like I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin the chances of the Lakers winning.
Right.
And as soon as they won. She's still ready. I'm like, "Go Lakers!" That's all I said there the whole day, just to rub it in, you know.
Buddy.
But that's how passionate I was with Lakers, and you know, Kobe was the catalyst for that for my adult years.
Yeah.
You know, do you have any kind of stories like that?
Absolutely, man. It's like when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like I put my heart out on the line, wear it on my sleeve. And one year I had a long-term girlfriend, and it was Game 5, Lakers Celtics.
Oh, brutal.
And you know, this is 2000. Was it 10?
We played him in 08. We played him in 10.
Yeah, and Game 5. You know, at the time, you know, I was a pretty passionate, diehard, you know, crazy guy.
Yeah,
you know, I was a little anxious about the whole thing.
Nothing's changed.
And my girlfriend's uncle just was one of the guys that just loved getting under people's skin.
Oh, that guy.
And this girlfriend, she had a huge family, and they all just started like sliding comments under, just like started like cheering for the Celtics and cheering against the Lakers.
Gross.
And it was like, dude, you guys are Lakers fans. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, and obviously I'm like kind of laughing it off, but after like 3.5 quarters of it, you're kind of over it, especially when it's in crunch time, right? And the dude just keeps nagging at me, and like finally I'm like, dude, you know what you're doing to me right now. Like, you know where this is leading. And like finally I just got in the dude's face, and then all of a sudden I had like the whole Italian mafia on my ass. I'm like, you know what? I'm out. Like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't. And we ended up breaking up over that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, it's like if you're gonna be, you know, with someone's family potentially someday, and you can't support me right now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I want to talk about the thing I'll take most from him. I always appreciated who he was as a player. You know, I always felt like if he was breathing, he was going to play.
Yeah.
And knowing the guy's willing to put his well-being on the line like that each and every game. He didn't believe in rest days. He didn't believe in load management like you see nowadays. Like, if Kobe was healthy enough to play, he was going to play. And we went through some tough years where, like, literally he carried us, you know, and you'll see that in the 81-point games and the 61-point game he put in the Garden. So I always appreciated that part, and that always gave me hope, and it always, like, inspired me. But it was really the mentality he carried off the court that I started to really study and get involved in. I remember before I even got hurt, I had a sales job, and I'd be at my computer looking at my schedule, whatever, and I'd click on YouTube real quick and I'd watch some of his highlights. And it would pump me up for that day.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, people were always like, well, how do you correlate that? How do you take Kobe playing basketball to you know, like working a sales job? But it was the passion.
Yeah.
It was that passion. And that's the biggest thing I always take from the guy is he was a nerd of the game. He was a student of the game, and he was passionate. He geeked out on the game, and he carried that into everything in his life. And that's the one thing I'll take from that is anything I do now that, like this podcast or any career or relationship or friendships from now on, I'll take a passion. If I'm going to indulge in it, I'm not going to give you 10% of Sonny. I'm going to give you 100%.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest things you'll take from Kobe?
The Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the Mamba mentality is a mindset that each person, you know, could apply, because they knew when they were watching Kobe Bryant, they were getting an experience. They were seeing someone pour every ounce that they had
I love that.
on the court, no matter what. You know, it's even why he wore number 24.
Yeah.
How many hours are in a day that he could dedicate to his craft, you know what I mean? And, you know, what once was a mindset is now a legacy.
Yeah.
You know, I think we can all live the Mamba mentality by, you know, pouring ourselves into our passions and giving everything that we have to our craft and to our families and to our loved ones. Like, you know, if anything, this whole situation is like the people you love can disappear in a second.
Yeah.
You know, and The soul of a city was taken from us, and a husband and a daughter were taken from a family, numerous families, and it's just, life is just so fragile. We need to pour everything that we got into what's in front of us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
You can't hold back, and Kobe never held back, and that's the one thing that I always took from him. I actually had a framed picture on my desk that I made when working a sales job.
Yeah.
Because I just had some lame ass picture.
Isn't that funny that we have that in common?
Oh yeah. And I'm
funny.
like, I printed this out. It looks all cheap. I cut it out with scissors and wrote with a pen, Corinthians 9:27. So I beat my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize.
Wow.
It's always just about, putting your work in so that you can earn your keep in the end, and I've always tried to, outwork my capabilities, just anything.
Yeah.
I just want to push past, what my limitations are. And, now that's something I'm going to live for the rest of my life. This guy has changed my life, and I hate that he's gone. And I just hope that, I can take the things that I learned from watching him play ball, watching him, go into business and entertainment, and the way, he was a father there in his retirement and beyond. And just, those are the things that, I want to keep, and, keep that legacy going.
Well, I think we're both the true testament to how quick life can change.
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, that bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not about who deserves what. It's not always about karma. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, it's like, really bad shit happens to good people.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's always a time and place where we need to be present. And I know we suffer from this every now and then because we have a lot on our plate.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else listening probably does. And every now and then you need to ground yourself and really focus on where you're at and what you're doing, and just appreciate it. Because tomorrow is not promised.
Absolutely not.
And I think that's another thing that comes to mind is I thought he was invincible. Lamar Odom kind of put in his Instagram post, when he heard about the helicopter crash, he thought, well, if Kobe knew, he would have jumped out, and landed on his feet or something like that, and I think we both thought we were invincible at one point too. Mm-hmm. And for us to go through this injury, at least we're still here. At least we can still hug our families. At least we can still talk to them. At least we can still verbalize our feelings and get these kind of things out. And I think that if you're sitting at home right now and you're beefing with one of your friends, your family, over something stupid, insignificant, something you will get over eventually, go ahead and reach out to that person. Be the bigger person right now, because tomorrow is not promised. You don't know what could happen, and you don't know what tragedies can happen. And I'm not trying to be dramatic or cynical, but if you're out there right now and there's something that you need to do to fix it, or you can do to fix it, please do it.
Yeah, man. And life isn't promised, like you're saying, and things can change at, the drop of a hat. Yeah. And, if they do and you still have air in your lungs, you need to know that life isn't over and that you still, you still have a chance to make something of yourself.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of over for me for a while. At first it was denial, but then after it sank in, I'm like, oh shit, like which way is up now? But you got to trust that God has a plan for your life. Yeah. I love this quote. Faith means trusting in advance, which only makes sense in reverse. Yeah. So you got to trust, that this is leading somewhere, and you just have to apply yourself to your passions and, give into it. Like, trust the process, but you got to, remain resilient. You got to, persevere through these thorns that, you're facing right now. And I think Kobe was a perfect example of that. I think time and time again.
I think Kobe too taught us to be you. I think in the beginning he tailored his game after some of the greats, especially Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of his legacy, he wanted to be his own person.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing I've learned through my struggles and my trials and tribulations is just be me. Yeah. Whatever that's supposed to be, whatever that's supposed to look like, just embrace the struggle and be that person. Mm-hmm. So if you're out there and you're trying to emulate other people, it's always good to grab bits and pieces, especially the good parts, which I like to do. I really like to ask questions too when I meet somebody that I know I can learn from. But at the end of the day, just be you. You know what I mean? Whatever that's supposed to be, just embrace that and just own it, you know?
Absolutely. Hey, so what were some of your favorite Kobe memories? Because to me, Kobe represents some of the happiest moments in my life, you know?
Some of my favorite Kobe moments, I think obviously Game 7 of the 2010 Finals. He had a shitty game that game, shot for 6 for 24, but he just willed himself to win that game.
Yeah.
And I just remember him standing on the scores table, and him like raising his arm in the air, and him just like letting all that out, like.
Yeah.
And then I remember the press conference, him throwing one more jab at Shaq, saying he got 5, and Shaq got 4. You know, those are one of that moment sticks out. And I remember him. The other moment I really love. I know everybody talks about the 81-point game, but that 62-point game he put up against Dallas in 3 quarters. Had he played that 4th quarter, he might have put up 90. He was on fire that game. And it's weird when you watch him play and he puts up those kind of points. It was so effortless. You just don't see it nowadays. What about you?
I mean, every buzzer beater was I ran around my house like, just jumping up. It just, those got me every single time. And just, seeing like the small things too, just seeing him like speak Spanish with Pau on the court or speak Italian with, Sasha.
Yes.
And it was like those little things. It's like this guy really just has such a command over the game and just such a deeper understanding. And those are the things. And I mean, dude, how many shots in beer pong have I just yelled Kobe to, just trying to sink last cup? Like, just, oh God, it's just the small moments to me, the 81's great. I mean, just getting back from the Achilles injury, shooting those free throws. I mean, seeing the masked Mamba, come back, battle with a torn tendon in his finger, broken nose, whatever. He just always came back. And those are the things that just, I remember, I just think of Kobe and think of those moments and smile, man. But, this guy, life will never be the same without him here. Yeah. I just hope that, we can carry on a legacy that he left for us. And I think it'd be a good move for us if you want to take 24 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
Just remember Kobe, his beautiful daughter Gigi, and the other, victims of that terrible crash.
Absolutely.
So. All right.
Awesome, brother.
Man. Well, to Kobe, bro, I love you. Rest in peace up there. Have fun with your daughter. Shoot some hoops.
Yep.
Give a shout to the big guy for me.
We appreciate everything you did for us. And we wanted to end this episode on 24 minutes and 8 seconds. I don't know if we're going to exactly do that, but I want to take the time to just tell everybody out there, my friends, family, that I'd never tell them enough I love you, and I appreciate you guys for everything you do for me.
Absolutely. If you got friends, family, loved ones, give them a hug. Tell them you appreciate them. Life can change in a second, and it's all about the people you surround yourself with. So, guys, from us to you, we love you. Thanks for tuning in. Rest in peace, Mamba. We'll see you next time.